And then the second fight, so the co-main, this is a nice little fight, to be honest with you. So moving up a division, Brandon Figueroa is moving up. Yeah, moving up to 126.
Big fan of the podcast. Big fan of the podcast.
We do need to get Brandon Figueroa on soon at some point.
We do.
Hey, again, just to reiterate, everyone knows we were wrong about his fight with Neary.
Apologize to his sister.
Absolutely. And so he fights.
I didn't pick
Your internet's a mess. So yeah, that's fair. So and it actually ties in with Neary. So Figueroa fights Carlos Castro, who his last fight was Luis Neary. And he got dropped early, but I remember when we recapped it, Neary took his foot off the gas pedal a little bit, and we talked about how he seemed like he was kind of coasting, and Castro started to build momentum a little bit and make it a tougher fight. But that'll be Figueroa's first fight at 126 as a WBC title eliminator. I think it's a good fight. Brandon Figueroa, again, as we mentioned with a lot of fighters, never in a bad fight. You're not going to watch Brandon Figueroa and be like, I really wish he'd walk forward more and throw more punches, because he's going to do that.
And Carson, forward. He said on social media, he's bigger, he's stronger. Imagine what he was doing at 122. He's going to do at 126, even better, with more power.
And that's kind of what Shawn had alluded to, that he thought he was just big for the weight. And so now what do you think of him at 126, SP?
Yeah, I think that it's some guys are going to move up and things are going to even itself out for them. They're going to move up and guys are going to be just as fast as them, or they're going to move up and guys are going to be just as strong as them. I think for him, it's still going to be, he's still going to have that X factor. He's still going to be bigger, stronger, just as fast. The gas tank is still going to be there. And so I think we're going to see, personally, I think we're going to see the same Brandon Figueroa. We'll just see it at a higher weight class.
Yeah. And
so my knock, if anything, if I really wouldn't even call it a knock.
You don't have to knock him.
Yeah, I was gonna say I really wouldn't call it a knock, but I just want to see more skill from Figueroa, and I don't see as much skill as I want to see. You know,
and Shawn, he's a hell of a pressure fighter like yourself, and he does it well, man.
Yeah,
what he does in pressure, he's on your ass. You can't go nowhere.
I think he's the only guy who's tall and rangy that Carson is not like, hey, step back and use the jab.
What do you, and good point from Ant about him being a pressure fighter. As a notorious pressure fighter, obviously you had a different style, your own. What would you like to see from Figueroa specifically that maybe you haven't seen yet, or you'd like to see more of as a pressure fighter?
So when I analyze Figueroa, and just follow me with this, but I think that it's a lot of this, and I like to see things tighten up. I like to see a tighter hook. I like to see a tighter body shot and a body shot and work right down the middle, opposed to just I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to get you. Even with my pressure, you could always see that stuff was set up off of a feint or set off of the head movement and things of that nature. My stuff wasn't. Even me personally, I think that I was an ugly fighter. I mean, it just kind of is what it is. But I think that my stuff, I had moments where I was very sharp and very crisp, and I like to see the sharpness kind of take precedent as well as the pressure. Maybe
more feints from Figueroa as well, potentially.
Add
that to the arsenal.
Freddie Rose told me back in like 2010. He said, your feints are great. He said, that's a lost art in boxing. He says, nobody feints anymore. And he said, never stop feinting. They gave me more energy to feint more and more and more. And then my dad was like, hey, double up on the feint. Give two. Now stagger it. Give one and then give two. You know what I mean? So my feinting became combinations. You know what I mean? Like we weren't just out there feinting. You know what I mean? So guys don't feint the way I feint it. And so I wouldn't just say, hey, you got to use the feint more, knowing that they're not going to feint the way that I do. But definitely one feint and then let go, things of that nature. I think that would make him look better.
And even though Shawn's retired, he still feints around the house. So like go to open the fridge and give it kind of a whoa.
Double.
Yeah. That's my wife. She's like, I ain't scared of you.
Does Figueroa, and I don't think he'll have too much problems with Carlos Castro, who, you know, fancies himself a good boxer on the outside, but I just don't see him keeping Figueroa off. There's a chance Figueroa is just as strong or even stronger, putting that weight on up to 26. But does he remind you guys, and I mean this in the most complimentary sense, not the hand wrap controversy, but does he remind you guys of Antonio Margarito in these weight classes?
Just the relentlessness?
Yeah, and the size and the chin, and
I never thought of that. Yeah, never thought of that.
Yeah,
you're right.
He's relentless, that's for sure. So yeah, I do think, like Zittel said, I think he's just going to overwhelm Castro at some point. And that's the co-main, and then the main event, another good one. It's funny.
Let me say this real quick, because when you talk about and that's how it happened for me. I had guys that I wanted to watch that I thought I could take something from. And then people started saying, yeah, you look like Shane Mosley. And then people started talking about not just the way I look like him physically, but I boxed like him. So I would get online and I would look at Shane Mosley and I would try to do things like Shane and then make a part of Shane's style, a part of my style. And I would encourage guys like Brandon Figueroa. If you're hearing people say you look like a great Margarito, you know, forget about all of the extra stuff. The dude had a relentlessness and a style and a way of boxing that made him great. You know, kind of is what it is. Take a look at somebody like that and improve your boxing based on the greatness of someone like Antonio Margarito, and the list goes on. You know, I just want to encourage guys out there, don't be afraid to look at other fighters and take from their style and make it your own. I hear a lot of people saying, yeah, he fights like Shawn Porter. I want you to fight like Isaiah, you know, but take some of Shawn Porter if you like Shawn Porter, but fight like Isaiah. I don't want people to just think that one style is the only style you got. Take some of that style and add it to yours and make it who you are. You know, I tell people all the time, people talk about it being the Shawn Porter style, but it was just Shawn Porter, but Shawn Porter was a mixed up bowl of everybody else. You know what I mean?
And so that fight with Figueroa and Castro is the WBC featherweight eliminator. And funny enough, the WBC featherweight title is the main event. So that works out well. That I like when they do that. And so
who y'all got Figueroa stopping him? I got stopping.
I do. I have him stopping him with a body shot.
Okay.
I like Castro, but I don't think he'll be able to keep Brandon off of him.
Yeah.